And there we go. Away we go. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody out in internet land. How's it? Hey, kids are asleep. Welcome in. Howdy, howdy. Moon Runes and Opera Soria coming in with crazy 2 years. It's absolutely insane. It's been 2 years. Cryptid. Hello, Cryptid. All Corpo and no play. Yeah, exactly right. Makes Jack a dull boy. That is wild. I cannot believe it's been that long. That is bonkers. Woohoo! Exactly, Moon Runes. How have you been, Moon Runes? How's everything going? How's everybody out there doing? How's Oh, and Opera Soria just cheered bits. Good lord. Opera Soria, you calm down. You calm down. I know you're busy. I know that you're busy. You're being gotta come in here hyping everybody. Hyping me. Thank you, though. Get it out. I know Opera Soria is like slammed with stuff, but I appreciate it, Opera Soria. That's how dead Virgils happen. Exactly. Yeah. But how's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Sorry about Tuesday. As you can tell, I'm going to be working on corporate edits, so it's a thing. So, hopefully maybe by the last sprint, I will be able to do words, but I'm not holding out hope. It's pretty rough. Oh, Cryptid, good lord. Oh my god, thank you. Good lord. What are we doing? Jeez. And now the hype train's doing more. I don't even this is the first I think I've seen a hype train. We did it. Thank you, though. Hell yeah. Thank you, Cryptid. Thank you so much. That's you. Wait. Good. You're actually on a 5-day writing retreat with 7 other writers? That's amazing, Moon Runes. Hell yes. Congratulations. Hell yeah. I love it. That's so cool. And wait, the kids, you're teaching a workshop, kids? No shit. Oh, congrats on that. You should now have new emote access. Do I? Is that a thing? Holy crap. Are you teaching, is it like a writer's workshop, kids? The kids are asleep? Is what I assume, but that's cool. It's always fun when you get to be like the teacher for like a bunch of like creative, cool little weirdos. Yeah, Viable Paradise is what it's called. Very cool. Awesome. You'll post you'll post pics in the Discord. Thank you, Moon Runes. You definitely should. If you're at a cabin, it's probably gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm a big fan of writing, right? Yeah, it's like not dicks in the Discord. Exactly. Yep, exactly. Don't do that. Don't do that, folks. But that's awesome, Moon Runes. Definitely definitely get the, like, soak up the nature vibes for sure. For a long time, when I would go back to Wyoming, I would try to do a lot of my writing up there because there was a small cabin by my grandparents' place that I would go try to write in. I find it helps me, and it's probably going to be super helpful that you're doing it with like 7 other writers, so you can all kind of like co-work off each other, which is very cool. All right. Oh, I just saw the whole like uni, aka uni one. I like that little unicorn. That's amazing. I don't even know how emotes work, but we have extra ones, I guess. So if you all know how that works, make magic happen. All right. But yeah, other than that is how long is your workshop, Kids Are Asleep? Viable Paradise is, I'm assuming that's like a universal, like a bunch of people or a bunch of classes, like a bunch of workshops. Let me see. It's about a week. Okay. I'm actually going to look that up right now. Okay, yeah, it's a residential workshop. Very cool. Is it online? Or is it like a location? Dude. It's in Martha's Vineyard? Hell yeah. Oh man. I guess that would literally be a paradise. Okay, so you're gonna go teach a workshop and also be on vacation. I hope. I hope. I know you're like slammed with a bunch of stuff usually, but I hope you get a little bit of a vacation there. The kids are asleep because Martha's Vineyard is really pretty. It's very gorgeous and it's a cool place. Oh, you went as a student in 2016, and now the student has become the master or something. When I left you, I was but a learner, but now I am the master. Very cool. We're gonna be in my neck of the woods on the Jaws anniversary. Oh yeah, yeah. No vacation will last, but it should be awesome. Yeah, try if you can. If you've got time, definitely squeeze out. Um, like try to see if you can squeeze in some time to just go hang out. Is it really the 50-year anniversary of Jaws? Oh, man. Is it really? Go see the sharks? Is it? Oh, my God. But don't kill them. I do always appreciate that Peter Benchley actually became an advocate for not killing sharks because of all the sharks that got killed. Due to the Jaws book and the movie, too. But I always like that he kind of pushed for like, hey, don't hunt sharks. Yeah, no, shit, 1975. Yeah. I mean, we are old, but we're not as old as Steven Spielberg. That's what that means, at least not yet. Oh my God, what is happening? Opera Soria, what are you doing? You've lost your mind, Opera Soria. Oh my God. Oh my God, what is happening? I earned a hype chest. What does that mean? Okay. I don't... What? What is happening? What the hell? I don't even understand what is happening. I don't... Oh, God. What is that thing? It just did a thing. It's a button. Oh, it's a button mash. Oh, okay. I see. I see what it is. Sorry. I'm old and technology scares me. Definitely go see the jellyfish. For sure. Yes, show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Yeah, you and me, Cryptid, yeah. I had another drink about an hour ago and it went right to my head. Well, it means your viewers like you and spend money on your stream. It's very flattering. I can't imagine why, but I appreciate, adore you all. I got you. Yes, yeah. And that's if I ever do like a night stream where I'm imbibing, I will do that song. We'll start doing the banging. Instead of Jaws though, it's gonna be my cat. It's gonna be my cat trying to get my attention instead of the shark busting through the sides of the ship. Now that's okay. So that's a good, because they came out around the same time. Between Jaws and Alien, for two like monster movies that far transcend the genre that they were in, what is your preferred horror film or of that style? Is it Jaws or is it Alien? Because I think they came out around the same time. I'm almost positive. Okay, Alien was 4 years after. Okay. But of the two, what's your preferred sort of transcendent creature feature? A creature feature that ended up being way better than it had any right to be. Yes, Twilight, please. It's my birthday next month. Oh, okay, Cryptid. That'll be the Cryptid birthday stream. We'll be doing drinking songs from Jaws. Oh, Alien, but we got to give props to the rack zoom shot. Yeah. Yes, the rack zoom shot of Brody on the beach is incredible. One of the best of the rack zooms, for sure. For sure. Jaws 1,000%, but I like Sea Monster horror most. It's funny because of my obsession with Moby Dick, but for me, it's Alien still. Alien had so much going for it, though. Like, Jaws had, Spielberg's just wonderkin talent for filmmaking, but also like amazing performances by all of those. Oh, Moon Runes. Yes, go have fun at your writing, and I'll check out those pictures in the Discord. But yes, have fun, Moon Runes. Have an absolute blast. Um, I believe that was the OG rack zoom. Did he invent? He might have, because they generally weren't using zoom lenses much before that, so he very well might have, because it requires a zoom lens. It's a dolly push in with a zoom out, or the inverse, depending on what you're trying to do. He might have that. I do not know enough to say whether or not that very well could be true, that he invented that, or at least that was the first big version of it. Like in terms of like in a major motion picture where everybody saw him do it. It's definitely the most iconic for sure. Of all the many rack zooms that have followed, that one will be probably the most famous. We all did it in film school as soon as we learned. Yeah, everybody does. Exactly. Yeah, kids are saying everybody does it. Everybody does it. It's actually a really hard thing to pull off that way, like really well. You have to have a really good first AC, and really good dolly grip to be like in tandem together, because if you're trying to do it like perfectly, like almost like Fincher perfect, you have to make sure that you're accommodating the rotation of the zoom. So your first AC pulling the zoom needs to be almost like matched to how fast your dolly grip is. I'm not. Oh well, okay. See, that the only other person that could be is Hitchcock. Did Hitchcock do it with a zoom lens though? I mean, Spielberg is a student of Truffaut and Hitchcock. I mean, he got all of his filmmaking techniques from those guys. So it would make sense. But for some reason, I thought that, you know what? Hitchcock probably did use a zoom lens. That's right, Vertigo. He probably did use a zoom lens in his 60s films. His late 50s, early 60s films, because they probably were using zoom lenses at that point. No, I think you're right, because I actually think I know the shot you're talking about in Vertigo. I actually thought that they did that a different way. Yeah. It's funny, they even call it the Jaws effect, even though yeah, it probably the dolly zoom Jaws effect. Or the Hitchcock shot. Okay. I've never heard it called the Hitchcock shot, but that makes sense. For some reason, I thought he did that a different way, but because I thought he purely shot spherical primes, but I guess not. I guess he did. He would have had to have done that on a zoom lens. That tracks. Yeah, Hitchcock. That's perfect Hitchcock. I've also never heard it called that. Yeah, I've always heard it as like a push pull, dolly zoom, or the jaw shot are generally the ones that I hear. But I guess it's also called the Hitchcock shot. For me, a Hitchcock shot would be like what was the other thing that Hitchcock was always known for was the like the silhouette. For me, Hitchcock always like shot silhouettes in a very specific way. So every time I see a figure behind a silhouette, even though I guess that's a German expressionist thing, you get that all the time in like early, Weimar Germany films. So I guess that probably wouldn't be attributed to Hitchcock. Oh, go put in the pizza. Have fun with pizza. But yeah, how's it going? How is everybody else out there? I know we just like opened up by just ranting about movies, but I'm all here for it. Ooh. How's it going? How's it going, Cryptid? Are you getting a break? A break from? Oh, nice. Oh my God, the cabin that Moon Runes is at, the writer's retreat, looks gorgeous. Oh my God, this reminds me of some of the Wyoming cabins I've. It actually, you know what it reminds me of? That cabin reminds me of where I housed all the actors. Where I housed all my actors when I shot the movie up in Wyoming. Oh my God, Ghostly, what are you doing here? What are you doing here, Ghostly? Define a break. Gotcha, Cryptid. Yeah. Finishing up dinner and getting settled. Yep. Well, that is good. Ghostly is a husk of a human being. I would imagine so. I didn't even expect you to be popping in today. I figured you would be busy. 10 hours on that damn blacktop. Yeah, that's a long haul. I've done that. There was a period when I drove cross country, I was doing 10, 12 hours a day. I am convinced the only reason I did that was because I've gotten way too used to 10 plus hours on airplanes. And somehow driving in a car for me is more comfortable than sitting in those airplane seats. I'm working late from a long day at the doctor's. Gotcha. Okay, yeah. But the appointment went well. I might get off late. I might get off light on tomorrow's diagnosis. Oh, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Actually, that also reminds me, because I know I said I was going to try to stream on Friday. I forgot I have a doctor's appointment. So I actually am going. I have to go to the doctor tomorrow, which I completely spaced. It's just how my week has gone. So since I will be at some point. What in the world? Where in the world is Ghostly? Ghostly is in Texas. Yeah. Ugh. Have fun in Texas. Good old Texas. With love, Avi. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Texas. I mean, I have many. My childhood best friend lives in Austin or just south of Austin. People that I love live in Texas. I'm not a fan of Texas. I'm just not a fan of it as a state. It's dry desert. It's hot and or muggy. It's blech. Nice. I hope it's a lovely trip despite the horrors. Yeah. Enjoy your time there, though, Ghostly. I hope, given where you're at and what you're doing, I hope you find plenty of things to do, which usually there are. The Dodge Durango does not have nearly enough legroom. Interesting. Okay. I could see that, I guess. Yeah. Particularly if you're, like, not stretching out. Like, if you're not, like, taking breaks to, like, stretch your legs. That's true. I usually just shift and move and, like, kick my feet. I'm in a section with trees. Ah, okay. Very good. Means you're in the... Well, there's a lot of... There's some really pretty parts outside of it. Like, in East Texas, there's definitely some pretty areas. Even though it does have a really bad habit of becoming very muggy. But there is some very pretty greenery going on the east side. We stopped 3 times in those 10 hours. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Oh, cypress or colonizer pines. Oh, yeah. Oh, Wildlight. I hope you got to stretch during your stops. My guess is depending on who knows. Ghostly both? I probably would not be able to tell which one is which. But oh, did you really? You finished the first podcast you were on during the trip? Oh, you did? You haven't even wait, Ghostly, you didn't even watch the movie. How was it? How was it listening to the podcast? The podcast, even though oh, and then you listen to the teaser for next week. Oh, gotcha. Oh, nice. Oh, for the one. Yeah, we just recorded that. Yeah, we recorded that on Tuesday. I listened to the teaser for next week. That's good. That's I'm very curious what that's like listening to that when you haven't seen the movie. I don't even know if you can you even get a really good impression of it? Oh, really? It made you want to watch it, not gonna lie. I don't know if there's any dubs. That one may not have a dub. That one, unfortunately, you might be stuck with subtitles on that one. Yeah, I don't know if that movie was ever dubbed. Which is too bad, because it's one of my all-time favorite movies, but it's a great film. Hey, Lorenzo DeBoss, it feels good to be back. Welcome back. Ooh, I like is that supposed to be the Majora's? Yeah, the Majora moon. Yeah, we're doing mad moons here, even though I'm definitely doing corporate work. And well, I'm glad it made you want to watch the movie. I'm glad if it did anything, it made you want to watch the film. And hopefully the same for the next one. Unfortunately, the next movie is also a Japanese film with subtitles. I don't know if it has a dub. It might have a dub somewhere. I don't know. But I'm glad. I'm glad it made you want to watch. I'm glad it wasn't just nonsense coming out. Because I always worry with if you're not sure what we're talking about, particularly when we get into the nitty gritty about the actual like structure of film, like the structure of like the actual like the nitty gritty about making it, that it's just way too abstract. Stress Moon, yeah. Oh, one Japanese film you'd like is based on a really popular RPG is called Ao Oni. That sounds really familiar. I feel like I've heard of that. I mean, Oni is demon, so I'm sure it's... Oh, interesting. Oh, it's a game, but okay, so they made a movie based off the game? Interesting. I have not seen this. I'll check that out. I will check that out, Lorenzo, for sure. One movie I haven't seen was Alien. Oh, you haven't seen Alien, Lorenzo? Oh, I highly recommend it. If you like horror movies, I highly recommend it. Blue Demon. Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha. It might take me 3 hours to watch with rewinding, but it sounded super interesting. I really like the sound of the Mamima character. Oh, Mamima's terrifying. Mamima is a terrifying character. He's also, yeah. I mean, you can find it for free on Internet Archive. Yeah, it made 3 hours to rewatch with rewinding. It's a bummer because you don't like the tension builds in that. Luckily, I don't think there's a ton of dialogue in the movie. It's a very brooding film, so hopefully you wouldn't have to like go back and rewind too much. But maybe. Oh, it's a survival horror game? Okay, it's like Mad Father. It looks like it's in the same... Ao Oni's in the same wheelhouse as Mad Father. Okay. Which I am familiar with Mad Father. I've played that game. I haven't finished it, but I played it. So similar. Translated, they made like 5 movies. Oh, really? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I never saw Alien. I was fine with the Xenomorph and the Facehugger since I played Half-Life. Okay, yeah, but the chestburster scenes were my... Oh, that was the point. That was the too much. That makes sense. That scene is in like a very intense scene in the movie, and it's famously was shot. Yeah, that's right. I know, Ghostly. Yeah, I know you. That's what you struggle with on that, which is rough because so many of my it's extra brutal because so many of my favorite films and so much cinema out there is in other languages, and so it's kind of hard to and dubs really can just completely destroy a film, so it's hard. I hate it. It bums me out. It just bums me out. It makes me sad. I wish there was an easier way to do that. And so I haven't, any of that needed, for that reason, Ghostly, yeah. But the interesting thing about the chestburster scene is a lot of the actors didn't know it was going to go down like that. They knew the alien was going to appear, but they didn't know the way the rigging was done with his chest exploding. They didn't know that was going to happen. So the reactions of all the actors when the thing shoots up out of his chest, because it's a fake chest and he's like laying there. The actors didn't know it was going to come out of his chest like that. They thought it was going to like appear in some other way, or that he was going to be the alien. So it makes that scene it makes the reactions of that scene pretty interesting when you realize that they did not know that was going to happen. And they just stop. It's intense. You can see them when they do it. They just like, they're screaming, they're running around, and then everyone just goes dead silent in like utter horror as his like chest is exploding. But I second Cryptid's question, Wildlight. We've been due for a movie night. Otherwise, I'd ask you to stream Russian Musketeers Mizu for pure chaos energy. Oh, that's true. Yeah. That is true. We have been due for a movie night. That is true. We have been, at some point, we will do a movie night in the Discord, for sure. A movie night will happen. Once things settle down and I have some semblance of a schedule and or time, we will. Oh wait, what? No higher up. Wait. What is happening? Oh, geez. Okay, Twilight Ghostly and I actually had a birthday request aside from Jaws. Could we do a? Oh, I say watch it because she still needs to see Lost Boys and or the Three Musketeers. Oh, I see. I see. Um, yeah. Okay, I see it. I see it. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about doing Lost Boys, so we definitely do Lost Boys. I don't know. I'd have to go find Three Musketeers. Yeah. I mean, we can do that for a movie night at some point. Um, we'll have to find out when works, but yes, at some point, yes, yeah, we'll do it. We'll figure it out. Hopefully, maybe next month, since you said next month is your birthday month, we can try to like organize a movie night, a like clubhouse movie night thing. There was another game that got turned into a movie called Death Forest, but all copies as of the last decade or so are non-existent. Not oh, interesting. Okay. That's like old school like Japanese like found footage horror. I feel like very very Tetsuo Iron Man. Usually those they end up popping up later, but hell yes, best birthday present. Thanks you. Oh yeah, I figure it'd have to be Lost Boys. Lost Boys feels like a perfect choice for Cryptid to show Ghostly. All right, we have been chatting. It has been a crazy opener, but it's absolutely a blast to be here with you all. It's 35. Not sure how that happened. Somehow we live longer than we ever thought we would. Um, how goes the script peaks under the desk? Script is everything's on standby until I get Corpo stuff done. So I didn't want to cancel stream again, so we're gonna be doing sprints today, but I'm gonna be off mic for sprints because I am gonna be editing things that everybody cannot hear. So that is the unfortunate thing, and maybe fingers crossed I can get to writing on the last sprint, but I will be focusing on that for today. But we should dive in to our first sprints. Let's get the words done, or in my case, the evil corporate nonsense I have to put up with. The evil nightmare fuel that I continually have to deal with all week. All right, everybody. We are going to put on some tunes. Uh, I'm assuming that means good luck, Twilight, but I'll take hood luck. I will absolutely take hood luck for sure. By the way, I don't know why that made me think of it. One of my favorite horror anthologies that I used to rent compulsively as a kid was called Tales from the Hood, which I highly recommend for anybody who wants like blaxploitation horror cinema. Highly recommend. Fantastic. I will be working as well and hopefully writing by the last sprint. I am so behind on pages. Yeah, me too. Me too, Cryptid. You and me both. Nope, hood luck. Luck for the hoodlums. Exactly. Yeah, highly recommend. It's a movie from the 90s. Definitely recommend Tales from the Hood. The Crypt Keeper and Gold Chase. It's a mortician. It's a mortician and he's a badass. It's very cool. Yeah, it's very cool. Anyway, I could geek out, but I was like obsessed with that movie when I was a kid. All right, everybody. Off we go to the races, to the words. Good luck, and we will see you all on the other side. Happy writing, everybody. And away we go. Alrighty, there we go, everybody. That's the end of that sprint. And Nell, welcome in, Nell. How are you? Nell also extended the break, so we're gonna go up to 15 minutes. And I did forget, we do owe Nell, or I owe Nell, a crazy story from last time. All right, so we're gonna go and start the down timer. Ba-bam. 15 minutes, and I gotta remember go sleep right on time. Shuffleboard. All swab and no shovel makes me a dull boy too. I do love this new shuffleboard thing. It is very great. I like she's older than you. You're just a curmudgeon. You bridge the gap truly. Thank you. I do try. Yeah, I've actually been a projectionist twice in my life. The first time was working at the Discount Theater in Arizona, and then the second time where I was running IMAX for Universal, at the Universal IMAX, the one that Nolan, we were doing that for Interstellar. That was a good time. But okay, I have a crazy story. So how are you, Nell, by the way? How are you? Hope you are well. All right, I have a crazy story. What kind of crazy story? Running IMAX, good lord, that has to be so much. Well, I was the projectionist. I was the projectionist for the IMAX, so I was running the projector. Ghostly also has a question regarding the script, but oh wait, post story. God, oh goodness, oh everyone's waiting with bated breath. Oof. Well, it's certainly been a crazy week. Oh, I'm sorry, Nell. That's a bummer. I hope if it's bad, it's getting better. I hope if oof makes it sound like it's bad. So I don't feel able to tell you on stream, but I can offline. I mean, I think there's a vent channel on the Discord. So yeah, if you got to get it off your chest, you can definitely go there. But I'm sorry, it's been a rough week now. That's so many screens. Yeah. Oh yeah, kids are. Yeah, when you're like megaplex stuff, like 18 screens. I got real fast at threading. Yeah, you have to be. I think we had 8. So when I was working at the Discount Theater, we only had 8 screens. So, and obviously IMAX. I was doing digital projection at that time, but it was primarily just running the one. But IMAX takes the whole thing. Oh no, Nell, I'm sorry. That sounds rough. But okay, I got all right, crazy story. Have I told? Because now I'm thinking about the projectionist days at the Discount Theater. Oh, we might not have rules in there yet. that might just not have been added. That might be something that Opera Story has been trying to get me to do or like sign off on. I just haven't done it. Just go ahead. Yeah, just go ahead and if you feel like you got a vent in there, go ahead and vent in there, Nell. That's fine. Okay. So I did tell the fire story. Did I tell the paintball story where the paintballing thing happened? Have I told the paintballing story at that theater, or I mean, it's whatever you're comfortable sharing now. It's mostly like comfortable. I mean, as long as it's not like a bunch of like bigotry or something like that. But like, I'm sure it's fine. Um. Uh. Yeah. Just throw some trigger warnings on it. Have I told the cardboard cutout. Okay, so I did tell the fire story where we lit the cardboard cutout on fire. Did I ever tell the paintballing story about the guys who were keying cars, or like who keyed one of our friends' cars that worked at the theater? Did I tell any of that? Okay. All right. So this was another one we were left unattended. If you were when we were left unattended by any reasonable adult at the movie theater. But what essentially happened was there were these guys who started keying a bunch of our coworkers' cars. And they would come to the theater and essentially be like, if we didn't have them on camera doing it, then, but we knew they were doing it. and none of the cameras at the theater worked. So they just were like, well, you can't prove it, and it became this whole thing. But anyway, so they would come in and watch movies all the time late at night. So when you say unattended by any adult, oh my God, wait, how old were you, Wildlight? Oh, when we were doing this? I was a projectionist at the time. So I would have been 17? Yeah, I think I was 17. I was 17 or 16 and a half. No, I would have been, because, I was 17. Because I remember, so when I had my car that would keep breaking down, so I would have to, like, sleep in my car and then, like, get a ride to school the next morning sometimes. But what happened was essentially they came in and they came into the last showing, and we're just like raising hell and just being general like assholes in the theater. And so what we decided to do is, when you lock up a movie theater at the end of the night, the doors auto lock after they close. So essentially people can leave, and then when the doors shut, they lock. So what we did was we got all the doors to like lock after they close when we knew the movie was getting out. And then I got everybody up through the roof access hatch, through the projection booth up to the roof. And we brought a bunch of paintball guns up there. And I remember we had paintball guns, and we had like the syrup, like from the soda things. If you ever like hooked up a soda machine, you know that it's like a big bag of gross syrup. And so essentially the movie gets out, and they walk out into the parking lot, and the doors lock behind them. And then we proceeded to bombard them with paintball guns and these like syrup bags. And we would throw the syrup bags over, and they would, they'd burst and just go everywhere. So we were like drenching these kids and like their girlfriends and like everybody they were with. And they were like, and so they would come back around to be like, we're going to kick your asses. And they like tried to like open the doors, and they were locked. So essentially they couldn't decide between their rage and whether or not to just flee. So it was very funny to watch them like try to decide whether or not they should just leave or try to like get up onto the roof to like fight us, I guess. But essentially what happened is they eventually like got like one of the cigarette, because at the time there were like these stone cigarette things, and one of the guys busted the glass doors. He like threw it and like it shattered the glass. And at that point we were just like, oh shit. So then we called the cops and locked the upstairs hatch and left. We just climbed down the back way, because there was a big trash thing on the back side of the theater. So we just like left. So when the cops showed up, if any of those guys were still there, it looked like those guys were busting and trying to break out the theater, but none of us were there. And when we called them, we said we just left the theater, and we heard. So essentially we just abandoned the theater. So we didn't have to answer any questions the cops gave us about why there was paintball and syrup everywhere and everything. Anyway, there's the crazy. That was one of the many crazy stories at that movie theater. We were just assholes. Wildlight, how were you never arrested? It's a good question. Yes, exactly, Cryptid. Like hot oil from the castle walls. That's kind of what we were aiming for. Exactly, kids are asleep. Because if we would pull them obviously out of the box, but those things were super heavy, and you'd have to like carry them and haul. Yeah, it was a whole thing. Anyway, smart as I was gonna say, do not face the cops with a paintball gun. That better be a whole chapter in the autobiography. These are just kids shenanigans. Like there could be a side chapter or an appendices that's just like kid bullshit I got up to that's mildly amusing. I can't wait to tell Trisha the story. She's gonna be so delighted. Yeah, we did all kinds of things. I remember one of the funny things, and this was like on us, is one of the reasons why we could never capture those kids keying cars on the the CTV like system was because we kept like fucking with each other and putting toast in the VCR where they would record. So like if you would like go in and be like, oh, I need to go check the tapes and pull the tape out, it would just eject a piece of toast. So like we just did that to each other all the time, and the managers would just be like, stop doing that, guys. What happens if we get robbed? And we're just like but it was all of us, like everybody was doing it all the time. But anyway, that's actually why when it was funny when it came around that like they kept keying my buddy's car, and he's like, God, we got to have him on tape. And we were like, dude, none of this is on tape. There's definitely toast in the VCR. Nothing is recording. And they were just like, fuck. So anyway, yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, yeah, that was a whole thing. I can't wait to, when MCR said the teenagers scared them, they were reffing to what you were. When MCR said the teenagers scared them, they were referring to what I was as a teenager. Yeah, that might be true. Twilight, you enacted the movie theater version of a scene from my Scrubs spec. That's awesome. Hell yes. I use ostomy bags instead of soda. Yeah, that's a whole thing. Okay, yeah. I'm sure she's imagined doing it to this entitled assholes and bots. Oh, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. Pond Boys sequel, The Projections. You know, my buddy and I actually had we wrote a TV pilot called Brain Wrap. Brain Wrap is what happens when the platter doesn't move fast enough and a film wraps around and gets captured in the brain and just shears the thing. But it was essentially a workplace like dramedy about working at a movie theater. And so we definitely like tried to like coalesce our stories together into that kind of thing. This sounds like a good movie script. Thank you, Patio Skunk. Yeah, it's pretty, the Clerks of movie. That's kind of what we were going for. It was like a Clerks of movie theaters vibe. Thank you. We are on the same brain length. Brain Wrap. And then the customers are like, "Can you rewind it?" Yeah, exactly. No, that is not a real. You cannot do that. And then the customers are like, where is the script? Oh, yeah. I don't know what it is with theaters in the 90s, but my dad worked at a movie theater when he was a young man, and he has similar stories. Yeah, I mean, because it's like a go nowhere job that usually is occupied by aimless kids who are either film nerds like me and or lazy assholes, or which I fit into both of those brackets. Particularly when I was that age. It's lawless chaos. This is what happens. Hey, Tukage, good luck with the words. Lurk away. I hope your writing goes well. Lawless chaos. Here's the thing: is this is the kind of shenanigans that gets that kid. This is what happens before like social media and phones and all that stuff. Is there's you still felt at least like there were pockets of like there would be no repercussions for like any of this, so you literally feel like you just get away with this shit sometimes. It wasn't gonna be on camera, some asshole wasn't gonna film it. It was just like, and if you did film it, which I did film a lot of the dumb stuff we got up to, but it was on like a camera, you know, like it was a VHS tape. There was nowhere to share it, you know. It was just, that's it. That's probably why it was like lawless chaos in a lot of ways. You can work your way up to corporate, but why? Yeah, exactly. No one's gonna do that at a movie theater. And usually all the people that work up to corporate, they hate their lives. I read Bill Hader got fired from a movie theater job for spoil. Yes, yeah, that's true, Patio Skunk. Yeah, I saw that interview with him where he talks about how he told everybody that Leo dies. When Scream came out for the first time, he had one of those masks. They were just Halloween masks at the time, and he snuck behind the curtain of one of the showings and just stuck his head out in the mass hysteria. That's amazing. Your dad's a badass, Ghostly. I love your dad. Ushers used to play this broom throwing game where we'd throw them like spears. Oh, because the trash cans were on rollers, we would get into the trash cans and have someone push us and do jousting with the brooms. I mean, I also used to light when I was a projectionist because I didn't have to wear a uniform. I used to light my pants on fire and just come down out of the because we had alcohol for cleaning the projectors. I would I would literally go in and like spray my pants in alcohol, light them on fire, and just go running through the theater out the back, um, like out the exit doors, and just try to convince people that I was some random person who had just like got lit on fire. Anyway, yeah, it's the whole thing. Anyway, yeah, it was just when I think about it, it's just like we're just doing dumb kid stuff. Um, uh, they stopped one of them and oh really? They speared a screen? Yeah, and those screens are expensive too. There's a little more to it, but that's the gist. Amazing, amazing. Yep, Dad continues to be the greatest. You absolute madman. I worked for Regal, yeah, and they made a rule that only managers could be projectionists because something something. Yeah, because I was at a secondhand theater. They actually did have a separate classification for projectionists. So I was just a projectionist, and then I became the projection manager, the manager of the projection booth. Um, when I was doing it at IMAX, there was no separate thing. I was usually an usher and then would run the IMAX projector, and that was it. But I did when I was leaving working in movie theaters, I did notice that like it just became a manager thing. Yes, we did that in college with the moving day bins. Which got real silly when one of the majors brought real plate armor. Holy shit, real plate armor? One of why does a film major have real plate armor? Is he doing like SCA stuff? Like going to war, like real like old medieval war for the SCA. Good lord. I think I've told the story here before about how I became a projectionist. I got called upstairs by a manager from concession. He was like, "Want to learn to do projection?" And that's always what it is. Hell yeah, I do. Mine was well, they knew I wanted to be a projectionist, but the big thing for me was my manager taught me my first day and then was supposed to teach me and then shadow me the second day, and he had just dropped acid. So when I showed up and I was like, "Oh, okay, so you're just gonna watch everything I do," and he went, "Look, here's okay. Just before we get started, I just took a hit of acid." And so I'm probably not going to be able to help you too much tonight. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll try not to mess anything up. Anyway, hold on, wait, let me. They also just sold pickles, and yeah, pickles, yeah, that used to be a common thing at the snack stand. Don't ask me. And it was one of those theaters that the seats were on a slant and not stairs. So he would use a leaf blower from the top seats to blow popcorn down. And one night he just found a pickle on the ground and thought it would be a good idea to shoot it from the leaf blower. Long story short, it hit the screen and no one ever knew the grease stain was him. That's amazing. I love that. He showed me how to thread on two projectors, then handed me his schedule and said, "I gotta take a shit." Yep, there you go. Dude, what is up with that? The kids are asleep. That's exactly what they do that stuff. It's the same thing they do. They barely teach you anything and they're just like, "All right, good luck, kid. And you got this." You're like, what? I had to thread the whole rush of all 18 3. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they always do that nonsense. Because the film major was a fucking nerd who also made tons of monster suits on his own, just buckets of latex. And I mean, that's pretty great, though. That's cool. So the gist is you don't set out to be a projectionist. You just end up exactly, Nell. Exactly. You just get it just happens to you. If your manager isn't on acid, can you really trust them anyways? Yeah. I mean, he was the coolest manager, to be fair. Probably because he was either on shrooms or acid all the time. Oh my god, you got the going out for a smoke. Yeah, exactly. All right. I've babbled too long. Time to dive into our second sprint, everybody. I'm gonna go off mic because I gotta keep working on this edit. So I will be back once we finish the sprint. So happy writing, everybody, and we'll see you on the other side. Happy writing, everybody. Alright, and there we go. That is the end of that sprint. It was like juggling cat, laptop, everything. Good lord. Alright. Oh, let's bring this back down to 10. Oop. Start the break timer. I still have more work. It's going to be... Looks like it's going to be corporate work all day, because I'm going to have to use this next sprint to do. I am not done, so... Words will have to wait, sadly. Okay, gotta have the nightly computer inspection. Yeah, right. So gotta walk around, make sure everything's going. Okay. Ghostly, damn you for getting me into horror, Twilight. You know I had enough going for me creatively before you lit this growing obsession. Curse you. Excellent. I'm slowly bringing Ghostly into the world of horror. Nothing pleases me more. Yes. Welcome. You've just taken your first step into a larger world, Ghostly. Hey, Patio Skunk. Yes. Well, hopefully that sprint was good. Amazing. Ooh, and hot beverage. Biscuits. Curse you, you capitalist bacon biscuit. Ooh. You're in Texas. Please have proper Southern biscuits for me. Oh, yeah. Blink. Oh, nice. Oh, man, I do love these little emojis. They're so great. Not gonna lie, I've just been looking at sound alerts. I'm gonna tell you right now, out of it's mind-blowing how much time you can spend going in. Twitch really does feel like a job. Like, it hurts my brain. It's particularly when I'm trying to, like, write and be, like, creative. I can't even like, think about some of the deeper Twitch stuff, because it becomes a rabbit hole that you just go down. No, not you all. Yeah, Patio Skunk Twilight's saying we're all a lot of work, folks. No, I meant, like, the interface and all the things you do with Twitch. Not, yeah, that is very funny, though. But it's just like, yep. Let's see. Because now I've been thinking, and I need a Louisiana Cajun horror, because that is my backyard. Hey, the music might help with that. There's a lot of Cajun, witchy witch. There's a lot of witchy stuff going on, in the soundtrack and the music I'm playing. So, gotta love it. Got the blues. Got a little bit of that blues, a little bit of that French Bayou witchcraft. Let's see. I am deeply excited by what this means. What you will make this with concept. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh yes, your script question. Yeah. I don't want to derail it. I don't want to derail because I know you have a script question. I have 3 more spots I can do, but I don't have. I mean, take your time. I don't even have all my slots filled in terms of like emotes and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to slowly grow it. Do you have a Mason and a Dalton in this? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Dalton is one of the main characters, and Mason is yeah, Mason's the younger brother. Dalton, it's funny, Twilight, you're scary. Am I scared? I actually named Dalton after, I mean, the little thing that says that this represents nobody living or dead nonsense, but I actually named Dalton, after a kid I knew in middle school. No. It's Mason's the brother of the main character. No, I did not make Mason and Dalton brothers. No, I did not do that. No. But Dalton is named after, I did name Dalton after a kid, I went to middle school with. And then Mason is the brother of the main character, Iggy. Twilight, my mentor. What? Apparently I did. Apparently I've locked into something without realizing it or intending to. I have channeled something. My closest cousins I grew up with, who are brothers, are named Mason and Dalton. Oh, those are good names. Good names. Well, I hope they're cool cousins. That's wild. That's pretty trippy. I'm not gonna lie, that's a little trippy. Yeah, spooky shit. just witchcraft, ghostly. It's just right channel. You're channeling when you write. When you're creative, you're channeling the spirits. You're channeling the other realms, the transcendent and the strange and the mysterious beyond. So we'll chalk it up to that. We'll chalk it up to the strange mysteries, the mysteries of the muse. I'm so proud of you. I mean, you're just coming up with names, man. Um, you said, "Ghostly, I'm going to immortalize you and your extended family." Like, yeah, I did not intend. That was not an intentional thing. You're doing witchery. I couldn't be more delighted. I think there's an argument. It's like alchemy or like witchcraft. I mean, that's the old Alan Moore thing, right? The old Alan Moore thing is the arts are the only real form of magic that they actually. The very fact that you can create art that would either change somebody's mind or reveal something about themselves or change the way they view the world is literally magic. It is transforming the world around somebody. That was I remember reading an interview where I was like, oh, like when Alan, because everyone jokes because Alan Moore like considers himself a literal wizard. And then when he talks about magic, I always found that delightfully like romantic, like a romantic idea of what the arts are. That it's actual witch. It's like alchemy and witchcraft and herbal. It's all these different types of. It's crafting different things and different things from the real world and sort of amalgamating them into something that can transmute into, like a spell or whatever it might be it literature, or poetry, or cinema. When I totally wasn't snooping the script, I noticed that and I was spooked, not gonna lie. Yeah. You're just snooping the script, Ghostly. I mean, Alan Hexing exists, but valid, yeah. The Cthulhu Club is real, confirmed. The Lovecraftian, that's why Cthulhu reaches out in people's dreams. Whispers in their dreams. It's the domain of the arts. Totally not snooping, right? Yeah, you're definitely outing yourself a little bit there. I mean, Dalton's on the screen right now. That's what I get for writing the script on stream. All right, we got 3 minutes. All right, we got 3 minutes left. We're gonna run some ads. And then perfect. Ad break in progress. Thank you so much. Opera Soria doing things from the background, being the genius. I was gonna say you did write and it share VODs of it. Yeah, that's true. While I didn't know, while I had such weird dreams last night. Do not. Hey, I mean, that's the domain of the arts, man. That is the domain of the arts. Ghostly not going to mention that Iggy was the name of her stage brother last production either. Was it really? Oh shit, that's cool. I always like the name. I actually named it because of Iggy, like the musician, Iggy Pop. So that's why I did it. Oh, I know you've been through the ringer, Nell. I'm sorry. You need a hug. I'm happy, but also tears of joy have exhausted me. I know that feeling, Nell, where you're like so like even like happy tears can. Yeah, it's emotions. Feeling emotions can be exhausting. True, it's a real thing. No, I don't want that domain. That's the realm of dreams. All right, I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna go restock on tea and water, and then we'll come back and we will dive into our third and final sprint. They're no longer building the substation on the St. George Dinosaur dig site. Oh, nice. So it's been a tense past month, and I'm Terry from the... Oh, that's great. I'm glad the fossil site is now preserved perpetually. That's huge. That's huge. That's a big thing. That's hard to do, too, but I'm glad that they were able to preserve the site, because that will get ruined. Construction sites do that shit all the time, particularly in areas where former digs were happening. There's been a lot of fights about that in L.A., too, because we have the tar pits here. So trying to preserve some of those sites is actually really hard. I don't know that specific dig site, but we've had that in LA where certain sites have been at risk of being destroyed because of real estate and stuff. But I don't know of that specific dig site. But there's a bunch down in La Brea, which is very close to here. Um, dude, but yeah, definitely take care of yourself too. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab drinks, and we will go ahead and get rolling on the next one. Okay. All right. Where are we at here? Look, obviously, Ghostly doesn't know all the secrets, but we'll say this, Twilight, and I mean it in all the weight that comes with these words. From what I've seen, this Virgil is my favorite. This Virgil, I was channeling a little bit of what I would imagine would be a top tier Ghostly Virgil. Definitely making him a little bit of a character. Little bit of a character. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. Oh, hi, bud. Hi. What? You got to come up again? All right. Well, let us you did not my heart. I'm cackling my head. All right. Let us dive in to our final sprint of the night. And yeah. Well, I'm getting bopped and punched by my child. All right. Happy writing, everybody. We will catch you on the other side. And away we go. Alrighty, everybody. That is the end of the sprint. Alright. And sadly, that is the last sprint. Because I have to go work on some other stuff. So, before I have to come back. But, eventually I'll get back to the script. But hopefully for all of you, the words treated you all well. And hopefully I'll be able to join you all soon. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I had called it Iggy's Mad Moon, just as like a temp reference thing. But the problem is like skittish autism. Or, you mean to pronounce it schism. So schism, the problem with schism, oh no, of course, Cryptid. Always a blast. Always a blast. We all know that I love hanging with y'all. So the problem with schism is schism means like a splitting in two, like fragmenting in two. But the term has a very historical, like it's oftentimes only really used in like a historical context, which is the great, they called it the Great Schism, but it was the break in the church. It's when the Eastern Church broke away from the Western Church, or the Catholic Church at the time. So in Christian history, there was a great fragmentation that happened where debates over various semantic details, particularly about divinity, the Trinity, all that kind of stuff, where the Eastern Church separated from the Catholics. And so oftentimes when people say schism, they're referring very specifically to this religious, essentially this massive break in the church. My script has nothing to do with that. As fascinating as I find Christian history and theology, the script doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm using the actual root etymology of the word, and actually, there is a more appropriate title that I might change it to. I just haven't, because it's actually used as a pejorative today when we talk about people like particularly neurodivergent people. But schism shares the same root as schizo or schizophrenic, which also means the splitting in two or the fragmentation. And because mine is much more located within the psyche, and both social relations and the psyche are the reason why it's called that, and why there's a second moon, there's a separate moon, a split into pairs kind of thing. It's much more related to the schizophrenic in the tradition, in the old term of like not necessarily the psychiatric term, but the term that the etymological root of that term, which is the fragmentation psychologically of the mind. So that's why I'm kind of all over the place with what it's going to eventually be titled. Schism does work. It is a interesting title, but there's also that problem too, is people either are like, what the fuck does that mean, or is this a movie about like the historical fragmentation of the Christian church? So yeah, I'm kind of struggling with what to title it. I'm still kind of bouncing around. Like on a ceiling, you're a saint, like on a ceiling fan. Right. Then we had the 100 Years War, yada yada yada. Yep, exactly. And you don't have a lot of religion in this script, so yeah, that's the problem. But it does. Interesting enough, it actually does. But it does lean into, because Cryptid, you mentioned the Tool song Schism. Schism, as it's used in the Tool song, is closer to what I'm writing about, which is a generally apocalyptic idea of like, but the fragmentation of how we're relating both socially and culturally to our world. So it's very funny because the Tool it is thematically more along the lines of the lyrics of the Tool song than it is the actual historical term. So, but that's the problem. Using the root etymology like a fucking nerd. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Let me read it and I'll spitball. Bat's eyelash. It's going to be available to read when I've finished writing it, Ghostly. It never wasn't going to be. It's very funny to see you go back and read it, because it's going to get posted like all my other scripts get posted. It will be available to read. I need to finish writing it and go through and edit it and, go through all that stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, Ghostly, it's a dark ending, though. It's a dark movie. I don't think it's got necessarily the darkness that like Blue Devils does, but it's dark. Definitely has a dark ending, that's for sure. What does Emma and Virgil back? What? Ghostly is chewing on the bars. Yeah, exactly. She is a white light. I anticipate nothing less. Yeah. My tab? What on the tab? Oh, what does Emma and Ghostly Virgil? Oh, you want to know? Oh, on the notes? Oh, on this thing? Oh, that? Emma. I'm just not. I could open it. It's not like a reveal or anything. It's just so I know where characters are. It's very funny. It's very funny. I'm gonna let you stew on what that means, but that is a whole scene. Yes. Okay. Oh, gotcha. What she means the folders Muppet. Yeah. No. Let her suffer. Yeah. Exactly. Builds character. All right, everybody. I'm gonna have to call it though. We've got to. Oh, damn it! I wanted to talk about Sinners because we've been listening to the music of Sinners, and I want to talk about why it's actually really special. But you know what? We'll save it for next time. Oh, thank you, Nell. Everybody, we're going to go ahead and end stream, but hydrate, stand, move, stretch, and pat yourselves on the back. Pat yourselves on the back. I meant to ask you too, Cryptid, because you need to, I was going to ask you if you'd seen Nosferatu yet, because you got to watch Nosferatu too. But yeah, we'll talk about Sinners next time, but Sinners is breaking a lot of rules, or at least Coogler is, the director. And he kind of got away with murder, and it might change things pretty profoundly for the film industry, and I'm very excited about it. All right. Okay. All right. Adios, everybody. I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. And we will catch you next time. Who are we going to drop in and say hello to and write words with? Ba, 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 ba. I need her less confused. I need her less concussed. Oh, there you go. I do want to go watch it next week, Carmilla. Yeah, I need her less concussed. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Tukigan's on. All right. Well, we'll go. We always enjoy hanging with Tukigan. All right, everybody. Take care, everybody. Puppet Jared. What? I don't know who that is. Hold on. I'm gonna prove it. Yeah, I'm gonna be working late. All right. Hold on. Okay. All right. Well. List them for me if they're on stream later, and then I'll queue them up for raids in the future. Nell, if you've got people, because I do have a habit of just raiding the same people over and over again. All right, love you all. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you next time. And bam. All right, adios, everybody. Take care.